We're at like 5,500. See how that works. Security when you get all of it, yeah. Oh, so you have a little pad here.
Security guard or the
Huh?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should probably go to Black Rock.
That is the whole thing I was complaining about.
Okay. No.
Pretty sore offense too.
I just
Talking to the coach.
whenever it gets
They just line up. Both sides. Actually, that works out well for when you sports and what's this up for the guys? Is he on the phone? Yeah, I think. Yeah. No, play sports. Football, and you're playing basketball, cross, you run around and lose weight. You know, like really focus.
you may or may not have performed.
How are you? So, you blew the surprise and you had a text Ryan, huh? So I'm texting your mom, I'm like, no. Tell Corey not to text him. So I text Ryan, I'm like, someone's coming to surprise you today. How long you home for? I was just texting your mom the other day about Turkey Day. And she said you couldn't come home. Okay, so Ryan knows you're here. Okay. Well, he's been playing every single defensive play all year, so they may need it today.
How long has he been coaching? Where was he? Okay. Okay.
I've only watched
New Jersey. Branchburg, Somerville. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah.
What high school?
Oh, okay. We're having a tough couple of years right now.
We send out.
Come on, guys. We'll you see two ladies that are just talking about it.
He's had 3 coaches in 4 years. Just tough. Yeah. All different systems, different
Call for the captains to midfield for the coin toss.
It's a great, it's a great school. It's a great facility.
Gentlemen, take hands, introduce yourself.
So that's a good draw. Good.
My name is Tom Whitty. I'm here today Palumbo for your own class.
What did they run a spray?
We're going to call
My
this
son doing
This is Bills is the call. And now, let's meet the starting defensive unit of the Engineers of RPI. And outside linebacker number 94, Anthony Pilla. At defensive end, number 93, Connor McCrum. The starting nose guard, number 58, Chris Holzman. At defensive end, number 90, Andre Lucier. And outside linebacker, number 26, Brad DeHagen. The inside linebackers for the Engineers, number 56, Kobe Dragney. And number 27, Brandon Cook. At quarterback, number 31, Philip Lanieri III. The free safety, number 46, Connor Young. At strong safety, number 4, Nick Borkowski. And at cornerback, number 25, Ryan Bucks. Please welcome the rest of the Engineers led by their head coach, Ralph Presley. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise as the RPI Pep Band will play our national anthem.
And you can pick up our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as long as you're sending something out over the ether of the air. We'll provide it for you on that feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org. RPI won the coin toss before the national anthem. They elected to defer their selection to the second half. RPI will be kicking off to Hobart to start today's game. It's RPI going right to left, Hobart left to right across your radio dial in quarter number 1. It is overcast at this point. Sunny this morning in Troy. It's overcast and there's clouds all over the place. The sun may peek out at times, but we're probably going to be mostly overcast in the 50s, I believe, around there. So it's no rain. It's, I don't know if it's ideal weather, but it's good football weather. It's October, late October. I don't think you can ask for much better at this point in the Northeast. So about to get ready here. Andrew Franks getting ready to kick off at the 35-yard line. Hobart is going to let this one sail into the end zone and out of the end zone, and the Statesman will take the ball at the 25-yard line.
RPI in the red and black uniforms today with the white helmets. It's my favorite RPI look. I like the black pants and the red shirts, and these numbers you can read.
Yeah, but they still have the uniform thing. Some people have RPI on their helmets, and some people have their numbers on their helmets. I don't understand that. I prefer the numbers, actually. Okay, for Hobart, Patrick Conlon will be the quarterback. as they have it 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. 4 wideout formation for the Statesmen, 2 on each side. First play from scrimmage today. Conlon pass, that's complete to the 25. Nice move to get a couple of more yards. Souffrant takes it out to about the 31, 32-yard line.
Right away, number 56, Colby Tragney, middle linebacker, on the tackle. I think he was joined by Lucier, number 90.
Hobart starting out, Patrick Conlon, the quarterback. Fullback, Dominic Ellis. He wasn't in on the first play. Connor Hardigan is the tailback. Wide receivers, Troy Robinson and Elvin Souffrant. The tight end is Mike Berkowitz. 2nd down and 3 for Hobart. Hardigan, takes the carry, cuts left into the line, but he's not going to have a first down. He only picks up 1. It'll be 3rd and 2 for Hobart.
Nice job by the D-line, a host of them, including our captain from the secondary, number 4, Nick Barkowski.
Hobart's line, Patrick O'Connell, DeAndre Smith, Nick Testani, Brennan Casey, and Ali Marpet. 3rd down. Hobart's going to run the ball, and that's close to a first down. That was Dominic Ellis on the carry. Looks like he's on the 35, and that'll be a first down for Hobart.
Man, yeah, he got it, huh? Yep.
Yeah, the tip of the ball is on the 35-yard line. No score here, first quarter.
I didn't think he got 7 the first down. I was kind of shocked when you said the yardage. I just didn't see him picking that much up.
Souffrant made a good move after he caught the ball. He went back near the line of scrimmage and went forward. He made a good move. So 1st and 10 Hobart at their own 35. 13:15 to go, first quarter, no score. Just underway, Hobart with the first possession of the game. Backs in the eye. This is a pitch to Hardigan. Hardigan finds some room on the left side, heads upfield, and he gets to the 40 for a +5.
Three or 4 engineers in there that time. One of them, Connor Young, was the first guy there.
Hobart likes to do a lot of ground game. 4 wideouts, Hardigan in the backfield along with Conlon, the quarterback. 2 each side for the receivers. And they give us to Hardigan. Hardigan straight ahead, and he's got 4 to the 44. Somebody just got a hold of him to knock him off balance. He fell to the 44. If he didn't do that, he would have had a first down.
I think Diego Catino was in on that tackle.
3rd and 1 for Hobart. They are 1 for 1 on 3rd down conversions. 2 receivers to the right. Hardigan takes the carry. He's got the first down. Got a couple more, and he's out to the Hobart 47, and the chains move.
Yeah, they're just cranking it away. See who's on that one. Number 49 for the Engineers, Tyler Doherty.
First and 10 Hobart. They're on 47. 11:50 to go here. First quarter, no score. 2 men in the backfield. 1 wide out left, 2 right for Conlon. And he's going to keep it himself after faking a handoff. Fumbles the ball. It's loose around the 48. And we're going to wait and see who's got it. There were players from each side over there. How are they digging this one out? And it's Hobart's ball. It'll be 2nd down for Hobart.
Yeah, RPI thought there was some signals from some of them. Maybe it was just the act, I don't know, but they thought they had it.
Wishful thinking. I've watched a lot of football. I don't recall anybody on a fumble ever signaling the other way against their team. Usually you just walk off the field. Hobart gained 1 on that play. 2nd and 9. They put a receiver in motion. Now he'll come to the slot on the right-hand side. Nobody's on the left. Conlon rolls out to the right. Puts the ball here. Throws. Souffrant has at the 45 of RPI. First down as he's pushed out at the 42 of the Engineers. But Hobart is, again, moving the ball in little bits, but they're moving the ball and getting first downs.
Ryan Buss forced him out of bounds, but as Kurt said, another nice pickup. Very consistent. Nothing fancy, just churning it away. Like 3-4 runs and an occasional pass.
1st and 10 Statesman in RPI territory at the Engineer 42. 10:40 to go first quarter. No score. First drive of the game. Backs in the eye. 2 receivers to the left. To give us to Hardigan, the tailback. Hardigan pushes ahead, and I think his forward progress is only going to give him the 41. Maybe a little bit between the 40 and the 41, but that's about it.
Good job by the Engineer D-line. Number 46, Connor Young once again. And looked like Dan Bush as well in there on that tackle.
RPI's defense, the line, Connor McCrum, Chris Owensman, and Andre Lucier. The linebackers, Anthony Pillar, Brad Gahagan, Colby Tragney, and Brandon Cook, who's not here, correct?
Right.
Mark Grimes, then, we'll put in as the linebacker. Phil Lanieri and Ryan Boston, cornerbacks. Connor Young and Nick Borkowski are the safeties. 2nd and 9. Out of the shotgun, Conlon's immediately under pressure, puts the ball up in the air, and it's out of play into the RPI sideline. Incomplete pass on 2nd down.
Really, really, really good pressure by number 40, Mark Grimes. He does that every once in a while, you know. He just shoots the gap, and he's hit the quarterback a number of times this year. He didn't get him that time, but he made him throw it very quickly.
3rd and 9, the first 3rd and long for Hobart today. Still, this is the first drive of the game, over 5 minutes into this first quarter. Conlon out of the shotgun, looking downfield, puts the ball up, and incomplete. Souffront had it in his hands as he, nope, that wasn't Souffront, that was Casano. Had it in his hands as he was diving for it, but he couldn't hold on, and it goes incomplete.
Nice coverage by Buss. Buss again from Shenandoah High School, Clifton Park, New York. #1 team in the area so far this year in high school. At Class AA anyway.
Backup quarterback Parker Thielander will be out to punt for Hobart. Gets a high snap, puts the ball up, gets some good hang time, and RPI signals a fair catch, and Goddard takes it at the 14. So 9:33 to go here in the first quarter. No score, RPI versus Hobart.
And we want to remind you, you're listening to Wrestler Football on 91.5 WRPI Troy. On this, the Parents Weekend at RPI.
Looking through the crowd, I'm thinking a lot of parents didn't want to watch football today. Perhaps spending quality time with their child. Who knows? 1st and 10, RPI at the 14. Handoff on 1st down the slats, up the middle, and he gets out past the 20 to about the 21.
Nice hole by that offensive line. He had a lot of room to run. He usually has to just crank it and run over people.
2nd and 4 for RPI at the 21. The offense is led by quarterback Tommy Morgan. Fullback Nick Schlatt, the slotmen are Reggie Colas and Matt Lane. Right now we've got a 3 wideout formation for RPI. Morgan looks to throw a pass. That's complete to Colas, and he's out at the 26, and that'll be a 1st down.
Nice job. Very nice job by Morgan. He's starting to get that confidence, and that's what it's going to take.
They'll spot it at the 27. 1st and 10 RPI, 8:55 to go, first quarter. No score. Engineers with their first possession of the game. Hobart rushing everybody up to the line, except for the 2 cornerbacks. Now for RPI, Hogan moves in towards the line. Hobart reorganizing their defense. Morgan finally takes a snap. His time is running out, and he'll be sacked back at the 20.
That's number 90, the big guy for Hobart.
Tyree Coleman.
Right. His coach was talking about him in the pregame interview. He is a good one, a very good one.
Wide receivers for RPI, Logan Goddard, Pat Hogan. The line up front, Ken Berryhill, Jay Yaskinich, Steve Mills, Seth Staubel, and Scott Davis. 2nd and 17 for RPI after the sack. Morgan fakes the handoff, looks to throw, passes over the head of Colas along the sidelines. It's incomplete. 3rd and long for RPI. you can see what Hobart's general plan is. RPI, the passing game hasn't been working well, so they're moving people up towards the line and kind of daring RPI. Well, they're going to concentrate on the run and force RPI to throw.
That's exactly right.
Morgan out of the shotgun on 3rd down. Looking to his left, puts the ball up in the air. Hogan catches it at the 30, goes to the ground as he got a hold of it, and it's short of a first down by 7 yards.
Nice catch by Hogan, though. Very nice catch. It was a little awkward and out of reach, but he got it.
We're halfway through the first quarter. RPI, 1 first down. Now they send out Franks to punt. Gets a snap, boots the ball away, low kick, taken at the 26 to the 30, 35, maybe a little bit more, that's about it. Sean Cunningham on the return for Hobart, stopped at the 37, so Hobart gets it with 7:12 to go, first quarter and no score. Other games in the Liberty League today, Springfield's at St. Lawrence. That's actually a big matchup. WPI at Merchant Marine, 1-2 versus 0-4. And Rochester is at Union. Union looking for their first win of the season.
Yeah, St. Lawrence, it is a big game, Springfield.
First down for Hobart. They find a big hole, and that's going to be close to a first down. Nice run by Bradley Burns in there.
Finally brought down by Connor Young. That's about his 3rd tackle today. And it's not good when majority of tackles are being made by the secondary.
It'll be a first down for Hobart as they made it out to the 48 on their own side of the field. Under 7 to go in the first quarter. Still looking for the first score of the game. Hobart with their 2nd possession. Both teams punted on their first possessions. Conlon under center. Drops back, puts the ball up in the air, and that is caught by Souffront. Souffront and finally gets pushed out along the sidelines in RPI territory at the 29. He just barely avoided stepping out about 5 yards before that, and he makes it to the 29.
And Bus fell down. That was the reason. He was covering him pretty well, but he fell down, and that was it. Went right past him for another, well, probably another 6 yards, 7 yards.
Ball to 29, 1st and 10. Hobart in RPI territory. No score in the first quarter. We've got motion against Hobart. That'll back them up 5. A false start against Hobart. First penalty of the game.
Next week, Engineers on the road at Springfield.
Nope, that's 2 weeks from now.
Oh, next week is the bye week.
Next week, no game.
Sorry. Bye week next week, then at Springfield, and home with Union.
1st and 15 for Hobart at the 34-yard line. Backs in the eye. Colin under center. Gives to Bradley. Bradley gets hit, breaks from that, and now he gets hit again, and that's going to be it. 2 yards for Bradley. He made it to the 32.
Yeah, no, number 58 for the Engineers, Chris Onsman, stuck with him. Held him up pretty good. We got about, what, 2nd and 14?
Yeah, we'll call it 2nd and 14. They'll only give him 1 on that play. On 2nd down, breaking a tackle, going out towards the sidelines, breaking another tackle, 20, 15, 10, and that's it for the touchdown. Christopher Holloman broke 2 tackles, runs it in for the TD, and Hobart leads 6-0.
Yeah, Holloman is a junior fullback from Virginia, 6'1", 215 pounds, and a little bit of speed as well, as you can see.
Hobart brings out Sean Kershey to try the extra point. Cooper Merrill is the holder for Hobart. Snap, spot, kick is up. Not pretty, not good. Missed it to the left, so 5:13 to go here in the first quarter. Hobart has a 6-0 lead.
Okay, the Engineers really got to get some good field position. They haven't moved the ball on very much at all on the first series.
They looked good on the first 2 plays, got a first down,
Right.
and then the sack, well, that knocked them back, and then they had 2 downs to recover from that, and they didn't. Punted the ball away, and then Hobart went in for the touchdown after that.
Yeah, the first play from scrimmage was that run by Shock.
Schlatt.
Yeah, Schlatt, he had a nice run on there, but he had a big hole too. Offensive line did a nice job on that.
Kershey getting ready to kick the ball away.
Colas and Gadar, is it?
Looks like it. Ball bounces around. Colas takes at the 11-yard line. 15, 20, 25. Colas gets hit, gets upended, and RPI has the ball at the 26 on their own side of the field to start out their second possession.
And number 24, Matt McGriff, the senior offensive linebacker, outside linebacker on that tackle for Hobart.
RPI first and 10 at their own 26. We are waiting for something. Equipment fix. Todd Collier had to have something adjusted on his equipment. First 10 RPI. Schlatt's on the handoff, straight ahead for about 1.5 yards.
Yeah, not much on that one. Number 40, I think it's 43 for Hobart, and that's Trayvon Toney. He's an inside linebacker. He's one of the ones Coach talked about. Very good player. Huntington Station, New York.
2nd and 9 for the Engineers. Everybody's kind of bunched together on this one. Even the wideouts are close to the line. This is going to be your run to the left, and that's got nothing. Hobart saw that all the way, but RPI may be getting up ahead. There may be a face mask on this as the flag comes out.
Absolutely.
Colas on the run for RPI.
Number 99 once for Hobart.
No, this is going against RPI.
Well, maybe it was a personal foul.
Holding against RPI. What did we have that one wrong?
Troy Johnson was the first guy on the tackle there. He's a defensive tackle, 5'10", 280. South Hadley, Massachusetts.
Hobart's defense, the line up front, Tyreek Coleman, Troy Johnson, Tucker Gumkowski, and James Hedger. The linebackers are Nolan Toran, Trayvon Toney, Jacob Stanley, and Marcus Jemison. The cornerbacks are Todd Collier and Fareed Jackson, and Matt Craig is the safety. RPI backed up 10. Hobart takes the penalty. 2nd and 19 for RPI at the 17. Morgan out of the shotgun. He's got 4 wideouts. Looks like Schlatt is in the backfield. Now RPI is shifting people around. Lane goes into the slot. Schlatt moves up closer to the line. Morgan again out of the shotgun, and the play clock, it looks like that expired. Yep, RPI will get backed up 5 more. You know what? You can't hurt yourself that way.
Absolutely not.
You just got penalized 10 yards. You had plenty of time to figure this out, and now you took a delay of game penalty. You can't do that against Hobart. You can't give Hobart yards. Second and 24 for RPI.
This defense is really strong and quick.
RPI at their own 12. Morgan takes a snap, now decides to run for it, and gets hit by his own guy, actually, and now he's sacked back at the 7.
Tyree Coleman's the one that made that play, though. He grabbed him by one hand, held him up.
Held him up by one hand, then Morgan got hit by his own man,
Yep.
one of his linemen, and then he got grabbed again, and that was it. So RPI is back to the 7. This is one of Hobart's best offensive drives. RPI is doing all of Hobart's work for them. 3rd down and 28. Back at about the 13. Handoff by Schlatt, straight up the middle, finds a hole, gets to the 20, to the 24. That's a good run, but he's still not back to where the series of downs had started, and RPI sending out the punt team.
That was probably the 2nd or 3rd very effective play. Two of which were by Schlatt. He had some nice help on the O-line on that one as well.
So RPI stalled at the 23. They got the ball to 26. Franks punted away, taken by Cunningham, 25-30, 35-40, actually 35-40, and stopped at the 44. So Hobart starts out in pretty good field position. 2:21 to go first quarter. Hobart leads 6-0.
Defense out there once again. Sun's breaking through. Kurt mentioned it was a very cloudy day today.
It's probably going to fade away soon. 1st and 10 Hobart at their own 44, and no score, or probably 6-0 Hobart leads. Got a little used to saying no score. It's a 6-0 Hobart lead at this point. Conlon out of the shotgun, looking downfield, looking for a lot, overthrows everybody, and well, didn't overthrow the defender. It's on his hands, but he couldn't hold on to it. Who was that for RPI?
I think it was Lanieri, but I never checked the number. Couldn't see the number. Yeah,
it's Lanieri.
Lanieri.
Lanieri did get his hands on it, but he couldn't come down with it. The ball came loose as he hit the ground. Incomplete on 1st down, almost a turnover. Four wide receiver formation for Hobart, 2nd and 10 at their own 44. This is a rush. Hardigan takes the ball, gets to the 50. That's a pickup of 6. Makes it a more manageable 3rd and 4 for the Statesmen.
Yeah, they run that. They run that middle very well. Number 44, first guy there for the Engineers, Alexander Greenidge. When he gets into games, he's been pretty effective. He's a sophomore.
3rd down and 4. 2 receivers each side. Looks like Hardigan in the backfield for Hobart. Pass. Souffrant has it, stays on his feet. He's out near the marker. He'll have the 1st down. He's got it. In between the 45 and the 46, that'll be a 1st down for Hobart.
Once again, with coverage on that play by Ryan Buck.
That's actually a good spot. Checking out the replay,
Yeah.
That was a good spot. First and 10 Statesmen just outside the RPI 45. 1:15 to go first quarter. 6-0 Hobart leads. RPI has 2 possessions today. They have not made it onto the Hobart side of the field. 5 receivers for Conlon. He throws, that's complete. And pulled out at the 37, a little bit short of a 1st down, is Fasano, who had the...
Connor, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Connor Young had, on the tackle, I thought he grabbed him by the head. I was surprised he got away with it. Young has played well today, though. That's just, I think his 4th tackle.
Backs in the eye for Hobart on 2nd and 1. We're under a minute to go in the first quarter. Collin drops back, looking over towards the corner, up and intercepted by the Engineers. Picked off at the 5-yard line.
Nice job.
Lanieri
Yep.
with the interception.
This time he got it. Last time he made a great effort for it, but was out of his reach. He covered that man very well. And that's a nice lift for the offense.
Ball's on the 4-yard line for RPI.
Engineers, I think they got to get past that 50-yard line, pick up some confidence. This is a very good team they're playing, but like Coach said, sometimes you catch them nesting a little.
Lane coming through the backfield, takes a handoff from Morgan and gets a little bit of room to the 8. RPI starting out at 3, that's a pickup of, that's a 4, pardon me, a pickup of 4 to the 8. 6-0 Hobart leads as the first quarter is nearing an end.
Interesting to see who we got in the running back slot every week, you know? It varies so much.
2nd and 6. Another run that gets out to the 10. A little bit farther ahead. Hobart says they have the ball, but nope, the runner was down at about the 13. That was Tavinis on the carry, right?
Yes.
And that does it for the first quarter here in Troy. 15 are in the books, and it's Hobart 6, RPI nothing.
We want to again remind you a couple things. You're listening to Rensselaer Football on 91.5 WRPI Troy. And the Engineers will be on the ice again tonight. Start time?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. It's Saturday. And hopefully looking for a better night than last night.
Not a good night for the men's hockey team last night. Not a good night with a 5-2 loss to Bentley. 4-game losing streak they're in the middle of. I don't know if they're in the middle of it. They're actually at the end of a 4-game losing streak. I guess if they lose more, they might be in the middle of a longer streak. We don't know that yet. Time will tell. Teams are switching sides. It'll be RPI going left to right. Hobart right to left across your radio dial in quarter number 2. Engineers a 3rd and 1 at their own 13-yard line. Got the ball off a Lanieri interception. First and only turnover of the game. Second quarter about to start. 6-0 Hobart. RPI 3rd and 1. Morgan on the handoff straight ahead, and that'll be a first down. Tavinis breaks through the line, gets out to the 17. First down RPI.
Nice job by Michael Tavinis. Nice job by the O-line. Tavinis, again, a freshman, 5'8", 200 pounds from Middletown, Mass. I'm sorry, Middleton, Mass.
.20 seconds into the second quarter, 6-0 Hobart leads. RPI 1st and 10 at their own 17.
See, he's the kind of guy I think we need in a game like this.
Morgan looks downfield, doesn't have anybody to throw it to. Now he starts to run with the ball, and he'll slide down at the 23.
That's all right. That's a smart move. Yeah, first quarter pretty much dominated by Hobart, other than time of possession, and that was 8 minutes to 6 minutes, basically.
Morgan got 6 on first down. 2nd and 4 Engineers at their 23. 3 wide out formation. Morgan looks left, sees nothing, now rolls right, puts the ball up and misses his man. May have been intentional. Gadar was the closest person to that play, but he didn't have a chance at it.
Yeah, I don't think that was thrown. I don't understand why it was thrown that way. Unless he thought Gadar was going to be up further on that cut.
Third and 4 at the 23 for RPI. Three receivers, tight end on the left. Hobart rushed everybody up to the line, and Schlatt is not going to get a first down. And you saw it right there. Hobart put all the linebackers right on the line of scrimmage, and there were no holes for RPI.
Yep. Joey Giacone was in on that play. He's been playing a lot more lately at the wideout position. Joey's only a sophomore, 6'5", 195, and he's a local boy from Del Mar, New York.
Fourth down, RPI sends Franks out to punt. Rolls right, low kick, bounces. Cunningham gets a favorable bounce at the 40, 45, stays on his feet and fights his way. They're going to give him the 48, a little bit short of the 48. But that was a good return by Cunningham, got about 10 yards. 13:05 to go in this first half. Hobart leads 6-0.
Andrew Rush on the tackle for the Engineers. RPI has shown a few spurts on offense, play here and there, but Hobart's just solid, and they're grind it out, and they're a very strong team. They got a lot of quickness, they got a lot of size, and they're good.
Conlon with 4 receivers. Handoff on first down, big hole. This will be another first down, and Bradley gets out to about the 33 of RPI. A huge hole for him to run through.
Once again, number 31, Lanieri, saved the day because he was gone if he got past Lanieri.
First and 10, Hobart at the RPI 33. 12:50 to go, first half. 6-0, Statesman lead. Bradley's in the backfield, takes another handoff. Not as big a hole this time, but he'll get a few. Little over 3 inside the 30.
Greenwich hit him first, but I don't think he brought him down. Let's see who's on the bottom of that pile. I think it's probably number 58, Chris Onsman again. Yeah, it was Onsman.
Second and 7.
Souffron out wide again.
Man goes in motion. Conlon rolling out to his right, looking downfield, puts the ball up, and Souffron has it, steps out of bounds, and that's a first down Hobart at the RPI 18.
Yeah, Souffron looks like he's his favorite target. He runs great routes, he's got good speed, and apparently pretty good hands. Caught that two-handed over his head.
He is the leading receiver for Hobart with 18 receptions going into today's game.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. It looks like a good one.
First and 10, Hobart at the RPI 18, 11:40 to go. First half, 6-0, Hobart on top. This is the pitch to Bradley. Bradley breaks one tackle, gets hit a second time, breaks that tackle along the sidelines. That's a first down. He's forced out. Where are they going to put him? They'll put him out at the 7, or the 8, pardon me, but it's a first and goal Hobart.
That's a couple of missed tackles by the D. Both guys had the chance.
Well, Bradley stiff-armed the guy.
Yep. And the second guy tried to go for his legs and didn't reach him.
First and goal Hobart at the 8-yard line. Hobart up by a touchdown right now. Bradley with the carry, runs along the line, tries to find a hole, finally gets hit, and he stopped at the 7. He ran a long way across the field, but only picked up 1 yard.
Bradley's a pretty strong kid. You see his size. Bradley's 5'8", 190 from Hoosick Falls. Very good local high school football team. I think they won the state last year.
Second and 7. Ball, or second and goal, ball at the RPI 7 for Hobart. Backs in the eye. Handoff, and that won't get a touchdown, pardon me. Dominic Ellis came into the backfield to take that one, and he stopped around the 2. Third and goal from there.
looked like Pella in on that one. Number 94. Pella's been pretty steady all year.
3rd and goal. They'll put it at the 3. 3rd and goal. Ellis with the carry. He's in for the touchdown. Hobart leads 12-0.
Yeah, they're just they just go right at you, and then they slip in that. Not so much down the field passes. The fact they haven't been effective. And one was intercepted, but those sideline passes have been big, especially to our friend number 3, Souffrant.
Kershey out to try the extra point. Snap spot. The kick is up. No good. Missed it to the right. He's not having a good day, but Hobart still leads 12-0 with 9:59 to go in the first half.
I didn't mention it early, Kurt. Is the women's game on today?
Yes, 3 o'clock. We're covering the women's game as well from the Houston Fieldhouse.
John Burke's women's hockey team at RPI. Hard-working group of young women. Really enjoy the game. I'm still waiting for a doubleheader. I know it never happens because when the men are home, the women are usually on the road.
Well, they're both home today.
They are, yeah. I'd like to see it. Even a doubleheader for the freak out. That'd be good.
Kershey to kick the ball away. RPI, this will be their 4th possession of the game, assuming this all goes well in terms of the kickoff. Colas fumbles at the 7-yard line, picks it up, he's at the 10, 15, Colas, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Got a couple of guys to beat, won't, but RPI gets in good field position. Colas gets down to the Hobart 46.
And that's what they needed. They needed that one big play to get him over that 50-yard line. You know, that crowd, I got to take a look at that. Sounds bigger than I thought.
They were enthusiastic for their numbers.
Not too bad. This side's pretty good over here. On the right side. The left, a little less.
RPI, 1st and 10 at the Hobart 46. First time they've been on Hobart's side of the field. Let's see what the offense can do with this. Morgan out of the shotgun. 3 wide outs to the left. Goes to pass, and he's sacked back to the RPI 45.
Number 26. Shot the gap. Marcus Jemison, outside linebacker from Nyack, New York. He's a sophomore, and he was all over the quarterback. All over Morgan. Wasn't Morgan's fault. He didn't even see him coming.
Yeah, it was from the blind side, and he came in on a post. Tough for the quarterback to handle that. 2nd and 18 for RPI. They're back to their own 46. Morgan pump fakes into the flat. RPI takes a man down in the backfield. This is a holding call against RPI. Hogan catches it to the 40, but this play's coming back. You can't smother the defender.
Yeah, it was looked like it was number 72 for the Engineers, Ken Berryhill. I believe that's who it was. Yes.
If you never saw football and you watched the play, you would say, you know, that's got to be wrong. You can't be allowed to do that. So RPI is back to their own 36. Nine to go here in the first half. 12-0, Hobart leads.
$28 to go.
Yeah, about 2nd and 28. That's about right. Morgan out of the shotgun, throws the ball to the 40. Colas gets it and dances out at the 42. He had 2 guys in front of him, so he plays it safe. He's out at the RPI 42, but the Engineers need to get to the Hobart 36 for a first down.
3rd and long. 3rd and about 22.
RPI started this drive out at the Hobart 46. They're now back at their own 42. Third down. Morgan takes a snap, looking in the flat, incomplete. Colas and a defender collide as Collier. They collide as they were both headed to the same point. No penalties on that. It was actually shoulder to shoulder. And on the incomplete pass, it's now fourth down for RPI. The punt team comes out.
Collier just hammered him. I mean, really a hard tackle.
Robinson now back deep for Hobart to return this punt. Snap to Franks. Boots it away. Robinson takes that to 23, looks to the sidelines, and stutter stepped and loses time, and he stopped at the 23-yard line. So
Nice.
there's 8:04 to go in this first half, 12-0 Hobart on top.
Nice coverage by the Engineers on special teams. I think that was number 27 for the Engineers. No, it couldn't be. That's Brandon Cook, unless somebody else is wearing it. Got the wrong number.
Hobart with possession number 5 today. Punt TD, interception TD. That's what they've done.
I think it was Grimes on that.
Statesman at their own 23. 2 wideouts left. And intercepted by the Engineers. Picked off by Borkowski, who saw that one all the way. The pass in the flat, and RPI's got it at the Hobart 12.
That's a huge play for the Engineers. And one of our captains read it all the way and picked it off. This is a good real good opportunity for the offense to do something here now.
Offense got the ball on their last drive at the Hobart 46. Morgan was sacked back out of Hobart's side of the field and never got back onto it. Now they're starting out at the 13 of Hobart after the Borkowski interception. 12-0, Statesman lead, 7:59 to go first half. Morgan on first down, gives it to Vinnis, and he's caught right at the line of scrimmage. That'll be a no gain.
Yeah, number 7 was all over him. Jacob Stanley. Another one of those inside linebackers Coach talked about from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Yeah, he's a good one. 6 foot, 215 pounds. They're strong at every position, Kurt.
They really are.
They really, every position.
Second, and really it's 10. They say 11 on the scoreboard, but it's really 10. Morgan looks to throw. He's got pressure from behind him. He gets hit, and he's taken down near the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10 RPI.
Well, it looks like nobody was on that left side. Wide open over there, no receivers.
RPI will call a timeout.
6:54 to go. Engineers losing 12-0. Coach Isernia, looks like the whole team is, not the whole team, but a good portion of the team is huddled around. Must be the whole offense. First and second teams.
Well, this is what RPI's done on offense on 4 drives. Plus 16 yards, minus 3, plus 19, minus 12. That's their first 4 drives, and right now they're a 0 on this drive. They got it at the 13, and they're at the 13. Yeah, between the 13 and 14. It's effectively a 0 at this point. And that's not going to get you anywhere.
And the thing about this is if they can get in here right now, we got a game, really.
Yeah, you need a TD here.
Exactly.
3rd and 10, RPI at the 13.
I look for that number 84.
Tight end on the left, everybody else on the right. Schlatt almost gets hit by the snap. Morgan under pressure, loses the ball, and RPI covers it at the 23. Morgan looks hurt.
He is hurt.
There'll be a timeout on the field as they look at Morgan as he got hurt. Pressure again coming from the blind side.
2 guys.
2 guys hit him. He lost the ball. RPI recovered it at the 23. And we have a timeout as Morgan is injured.
Yeah, you can see right away he was hurt. He got hit by 2 guys at the same time.
Gilman is the backup for Morgan today. He is warming up on the sidelines.
And Gilman's a runner. That's what he does.
Morgan will go off the field under his own power as Franks is going to come out to try a field goal. This will be a 40-yard attempt from the right hash for Franks.
Now, knowing the way these guys shoot the gap, let's see, they're going to have to watch out for the blocked field goal here.
McHugh on the hold. The snap, the spot, the kick is up, and the kick is no good. Missed it to the left. So it stays Hobart 12, RPI nothing with 6:20 to go in the first half. Every kick today has missed.
Yeah, that's true. Every kick today has missed, and it's almost halftime, and it's been a pretty dominant one-way game so far, but the score doesn't show a dominant game. It's 12-0.
No, it doesn't, but we've been to Hobart games like this before, where it doesn't look dominant on the scoreboard, yet you played 60 minutes and there appears to be no chance for the other team to win.
Exactly.
Hardigan takes a direct snap for Hobart on first down, and he makes it out to the 29. As Hobart has it on their own side of the field. They got it at the 23 line of scrimmage for that missed field goal for RPI.
Hardigan's a junior running back. He's from Albany. Went to Albany Academy.
Hobart holding on to a 12-0 lead here as we're at the 5:50 to go mark of the first half. Hardigan takes a direct snap again, runs to the left-hand side, starts upfield. He's got a first down, and Hardigan makes it to the 42. Hobart giving some different looks right now to RPI.
Some nice running by Hardigan.
Conlon is out there on the field, but Hardigan is taking the snaps, or has taken the snaps for the last 2 downs.
Dick Borkowski brought him down. A couple other guys, but very effective last 2 runs by the local hometown product or Capital District product from Albany Academy.
1st and 10 at their own 42. Statesman. Conlon goes into the backfield, takes the snap, throws. That's complete along the sidelines. Souffrant, is that the reception?
Yeah, I think so.
Souffrant at the 45. Only picked up 3. He actually was farther ahead when he caught it, but he ran backwards.
That's that play. He runs a lot. He catches it and he comes back a little bit and cuts in. Usually picks up some nice yardage with it.
Second and 6 officially for Hobart. Hardigan on the direct snap again. This time he'll be stopped at the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by RPI. I guess they're sniffing that play out now.
Nice job. Nice job, number 56 for the Engineers, Colby Tragney. One of the first guys there. Linebacker in the middle. He's a wild one. He loves it out there.
3rd down and 7 for the Statesman. Conlon and Hardigan standing next to each other in the backfield. Looking over to the sidelines, there's 7 seconds left on the play clock. Somebody calling a timeout? Yeah, they're calling a timeout now. 3:49 to go here in the first half. Hobart up 12-0. Hobart taking a timeout.
Well, they were all that they, all we heard about them is true. They're a very good football team. But the Engineers have had their chances at least twice.
The offense went backwards both times.
Yeah, they're.
One special teams run got into Hobart 46. RPI immediately exited Hobart's side of the field on the next play. Interception to the 13. The offense went back 10 yards, and a kick missed.
Yeah, the quarterback has no time back there at all. If you're going to pass, it's got to be a quick slant. You're not going to do much.
3rd and 7 for Hobart. Timeout is over with. Statesman up 12-0 here in the first half. Conlon out of the shotgun. Gets rid of the ball, looking downfield. It's up and knocked away by Lanieri.
Lanieri's covering real well today. That's the 3rd one he's covered well, and one of the 3 he intercepted.
Brandon Shedd was the intended receiver on that play. Lanieri was perfectly positioned to knock the ball away, and it's 4th down for Hobart.
He had some company with Buss right with him, but Lanieri was the primary guy on that.
Thielander out to punt. Not a good kick. It's going to take a Hobart bounce and roll out at the 16-yard line. It's going to look a lot better on the stat sheet than it did in person.
3:36 to go in the first half. Hobart leads the Engineers 12-0. And you're listening to RPI Football on WRPI 91.5 Troy.
Now, counting penalties, there's been 5 drives, and if you count the penalties in terms of the yardage the offense has done, RPI's offense in this first half is a +10. First and 10 RPI at their own 16.
Yes, a score by the offense would be huge before halftime.
Morgan is out there at QB. Backs are split behind him. Straight ahead on first down. This is only going to get a couple of yards to the 19-yard line. Is Hobart calling a timeout?
Number 7 for Hobart on the tackle.
No.
Jacob Stanley.
No timeout on the play. Clock stopped, don't know why, but they've adjusted it. Now Schlatt's on the carry on first down. 2nd down for RPI and 7. Clock continues to run. 3:15 to go here in the first half. RPI drops man in the backfield. Schlatt's with the carry, and they pile up on top of him near the 25-yard line.
About a yard and a half short, probably.
Yep. Need to get between the 26 and the 27 for a first down. 2:50 to go here in the first half. Third and a little over 1 for the Engineers. Hobart crosses the line early, and this is going to be a penalty against the Statesman, it looks like.
Number 99, I believe. Troy Johnson. Yeah, he's the guy I mentioned earlier from South Hadley, Mass. 5'10", 280. There's some real big boys there.
First down on the 5-yard penalty. Ball goes out to the 30. Clock starts up again. 2:35 to go here. First half. 12-0. Hobart leads. Morgan takes a snap. Schlatt straight ahead. He gets out to the 35.
Nice effort. Nice effort by the offensive line. number 53 for the Engineers, Steve Mills, center. Nice job on that play.
2nd and 5 for the Engineers.
Millsy has started since his first game of his freshman year at center.
Another handoff straight ahead. Schlatt gets about 4. It'll be 3rd and 1. 1:40 to go in the half. RPI with a 3rd and 1 play. 1:20 to go on the clock. And Hobart again jumps across the line.
Same guy. Johnson again. And Johnson has been called to the sideline. I think this defensive coordinator has a message for him.
They want to chat. 5 yards, moves the ball to the RPI 44. It'll be another Engineer first down. 12-0 Hobart leads. 1:15 to go in the first half. This is WRPI Troy with Engineer football from the East Campus Stadium in Troy. Kurt Stubb, Bob Conway on the call for you. 1st and 10 Engineers. Schlatt's handoff, tries a spin move, gets out to the 48 as we're under a minute to go in the half.
Nice spin move. Schlatt runs hard.
RPI has kept the ball on the ground this drive.
You know, Schlatt's is 6'2", 215. That's a good-sized running back. He's tough.
RPI will get the ball to start out the second half.
Boy, nice to go with some points on the board, though.
Morgan fakes the handoff now, puts the ball up in the air, and almost picked off. Goes incomplete, went off the hands of Jackson, who was reaching out for it.
He was right there.
It's thrown into triple coverage. And really, Jackson was avoiding the intended receiver. That's why he didn't make the interception. Incomplete pass on 2nd down, stops the clock. 27.3 seconds left in the half.
I think that was Matt Lane down there.
RPI has a strong right side this time. And Morgan fakes the handoff, keeps it himself. Now the pitch to Colas, and Colas is pushed out at the 45. Clock stops at 22.6 seconds left. That's a first down. Also, he went out of bounds under 2 minutes. So there's 22.6 seconds left in the half.
Tommy D'Antonio got him out of bounds.
1st and 10 Engineers at the Hobart 45. Two slot men, 2 receivers to the right. Lane now drops into the backfield. Morgan fakes handoff to him. Morgan looks downfield, throwing into multiple coverage, and it's incomplete. Intended for Giacconi. He was double covered, and I don't think he got a good view of that ball either.
They seem to be going to Giacconi a lot more on important plays, you know, big plays, throwing downfield. He runs a pretty good route. He's a big boy, and only a sophomore.
16 seconds left in the half. 2nd and 10 RPI at the Hobart 45.
Are you hitting the end zone or trying to get in field goal position?
RPI does have 2 timeouts left, so they can run up the middle and take timeout. Schlatt breaks 1 tackle on this run, gets hit again. He stopped at the 37. A little bit of a skirmish breaks out with 8 seconds to go. Is somebody calling a timeout? I think RPI is going to call a timeout. Yes. That's RPI's 2nd timeout of the first half. 12-0 Hobart leads. RPI with the ball at the Hobart 37. 8 seconds to go in the first half.
Hail Mary to the end zone or kick?
Well, you got 8 seconds. You have a 1 timeout left, so you've got time to run a play, even if it's in the field of play, and then stop the clock and try for a kick. If that doesn't work, then you can always go Hail Mary on 4th down. RPI has, it's 3rd down right now, so RPI does have 2 downs to play with.
If they can get the ball down the field in 8 seconds, that rush that they've been getting hasn't given them any time.
Got to try something.
Absolutely.
One timeout remaining for the Engineers. 8 seconds on the clock. Third and 2. Morgan with 3 wideouts. 1 man in the backfield. He stays to block. Morgan puts the ball up in the air, and it's going to go out of bounds with 3.3 seconds left. So now it's 4th down, and Franks will come out to try what will be a really long field goal. 54 yards, it looks like. McHugh to hold. They'll move the spot back a little bit for 4th down. A 54-yard field goal attempt for Franks. Middle of the field. Not really much of a wind here. And Hobart takes a timeout. That's their 2nd timeout of this first half. 3.3 seconds left in the half. 12-0 Hobart leads.
I don't know if that's what they're doing. I never believed in that ice and the kicker thing. These guys, most of those guys are just have no nerves at all. They just get out there and kick.
Well, this kick will probably be the last play of the first half.
Oh, yeah. Turned it into a pretty nice day.
Sun's out right now.
Yeah, the clouds broke up quite a bit.
Okay, 54-yard field goal attempt. Let's see if it happens this time. Middle of the field for Franks.
If Franks, you can give him a lift going in.
Kicking towards the gymnasium here in Troy. As he closed end of the field. Snap the spot. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Time expires.
Yes.
Hobart 12, RPI 3. Franks with a 54-yarder to end the half.
And he did give him a lift going in. It wasn't 7, but we'll take it. 54 yards. It's amazing. And RPI being very much dominated in the first, without having seen the second quarter stats, they were really dominated in the first half, and still are only 9 points behind.
Well, it's still a 2-score game. You got the 3, but now a 3 and a touchdown does something for you. But that drive to the Hobart 37, clearly the best drive of the game.
Absolutely.
And RPI did it mostly on the ground in order to get that field goal.
Well, they're not going to. It doesn't seem that if they're going to get it in the air, they got to throw it quick because those guys are just too quick coming in.
And let's face it, if you didn't have Franks, you wouldn't have any points right now because that was 54 yards.
Yeah.
Most D3 kickers can't kick at 54 yards.
Exactly.
I mean, so if a lesser kicker and RPI would be being shut out right now, but they've got to go into the locker room and figure something else out on offense because it's mostly not working.
You know, they may. Who knows? You know, when you get a game like this, but maybe they got some trickery. I think this is the kind of game I'd use it if nothing else was really cooking. But you're right. They ran the ball very well on that drive for the first time today.
So we're going to take a break here. It's halftime, and we'll be back with the second half shortly. We'll listen to Around the League. It'll run you down last weekend's Liberty League football action. The score here after one half in Troy, it is Hobart 12, RPI 3, and you're listening to live coverage of Engineer football on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
Just a violation of UCAS Stadium at Rensselaer Honda, 770 Hudson Road, Troy, or visit online at getahonda.net. Come experience why Rensselaer Honda is simply better. Correction on the Andrew Franks field goal. Officially a 54-yard field goal by Franks. Career long and new school record. Fans, you can be a part of Rensselaer Ice Hockey. For more information about the men's and women's Division I hockey programs, or to buy tickets, contact Houston Fieldhouse at 518-276-6262. Both teams in action later today. The women take on Connecticut at 3 p.m. and the men will take on Bentley tonight at 7.
I tell your father, I knew you were going to kill a football when he won.
Oh, I see you. Got you. Speak away there? Got you. All right. I got you. I'm in the black. Yeah. But I see you leaning in orange. I see you leaning in red. All right. I'll open it over. All right. All right. Bye. I got it on the picture.
Oh, yes? Oh, okay. No, we didn't do that.
No? All right, thank you. You can get them online.
Oh, okay.
We're live with you once more here from the East Campus Stadium on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York, where we are nearing the start of the second half of play between RPI and Hobart in today's Liberty League football action. The score after one half, it is Hobart 12 and RPI 3. My name is Kurt Stud. I'm here with Bob Conway. We're bringing you all the action live today on 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. Before we start out with the second half, I'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, and that includes WRPI's coverage of engineer football, hockey, and baseball. Also, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org, and you pick up our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As long as we're broadcasting something, we'll send it out over that internet feed. That's WRPI.org.
I think the best things about the first half for the Engineers, according to the stats, are Nick Schlatt has 10 carries for 53 yards. He's averaging 5.3. And Andrew Franks, 4 punts for 40.5 yards and a 54-yard field goal.
Hobart with the kick to start at the second half. It's taken by Collis at about his 13-yard line, and he'll get it out to the 26. Good open field tackle there by the Statesman. That was Collier with the open field tackle. Stops Collis at around the 26-27-yard line. Engineers with the ball and trailing by 9 as we start out the third quarter.
That's interesting to see if RPI was able to make any adjustments.
First and 10, RPI at their own 26, down by 9. Sun is hidden behind the clouds again. Schlatt tries to go to the left. Usually he's up ahead. There'll be a flag coming out on this play. And it's going to be holding against RPI.
Not a good way to start the second half.
So RPI gets backed up 10, pretty much from the get-go. First and 20, RPI back at their own 16. Lane drops into the backfield. Hand off to Schlatt on first down, straight up the middle, gets most of those yards back on the penalty. Got 8 of the 10 back to the 24.
Getting a good job right up the middle by the offensive line.
No out of 10 scores yet. Springfield at St. Lawrence started at 1, so they're about a half hour into that game. Rochester at Union just about to start at 1:30, and the WPI Merchant Marine game doesn't start until 4. So we have nothing to report for you right now. Schlatt's on second down in about 12, takes a carry, gets across the original first down marker, and then is stopped right around the 27. Third and long for RPI. The umpire also took a spill on that play.
You get taken out by a player.
Yes. Well, that was an RPI player blocking a Hobart player into the umpire.
Yeah, right.
A little bit of bad luck there for one of the Zebras. Third and 8 for the Engineers. Down by 9. Hobart crossed over, and now RPI is going to get called for a false start. Tony pointing out that Lane had moved, and RPI is backed up 5.
Interested that they waited till the guy from the other team pointed it out before they called it.
No argument from Lane, so.
You can't win those arguments no matter what.
Third and 13 for RPI. Morgan out of the shotgun. The receivers are all on the right for the Engineers. Morgan fakes the handoff, puts the ball up in the air, and intercepted by Hobart. To the 30, 25, to the 20, 15, 10, 5, and in for the touchdown is Collier. A pick six for the Statesmen. They lead 18-3.
Collier, sophomore cornerback, 5'7", 162 pounds. Takes it all the way back.
That's a heartbreaker for RPI.
Oh, God. We just have no luck throwing the ball downfield this year. Very little.
Let's see if a kick will work this time. As Hobart sends out McCool to kick, and he puts it through. So the freshman, McCool, gets the first successful kick of the game, and Hobart leads 19-3.
Well, that was disappointing in the first series. But another series coming up. You know, we've said it all year, these kids, they never quit.
Hobart's been intercepted twice, but RPI couldn't make anything out of those. RPI gets intercepted once, and Hobart turns into 7.
Well, it's tough enough playing a very, very good team. And not to use it as an excuse, it's just a fact. We got 3 important players out hurt. One of them was a quarterback. One of them was our best lineman last year, or second best lineman. He was a freshman. He's been out all year. And another one is a very good linebacker, who's also now out for the year.
The kick taken by Colas at the 3, to the 5, to the 10, 15. Colas breaks away from some guys, 20, 25, to the 30, along the sidelines. Cuts inside to the middle of the field, still on his feet, breaks a couple of tackles, loses the ball. The ball's loose around the 39. I think RPI got it. Flag also comes out as there's a battle now for the ball at the 39-yard line. RPI has possession, but there's also a flag as Colas ran it back to around the 40, then the ball came flying out.
That's the second real good run back by Colas today. He had one for 48.
This is going to come back some because there's a block in the back against RPI.
Oh, wow.
Looks like the spot of that foul was the Hobart 41, or 41 or 42 around there.
And he was over the 50-yard line. Oh, yeah, there goes the ball. Right, RPI caught it right directly.
The ball gets moved back to the RPI 48.
See what this offense can do.
Pick 6 last time RPI was on the field on offense. 19-3, Hobart leads here in the third quarter. Morgan out of the shotgun. Tvinis takes the handoff, and he crosses the 50 to the 49. Gets 3. That was a straight-ahead run.
Number 62, Zachary Roback, on the tackle for Hobart.
RPI patient on offense. Put the receivers on the right-hand side. Tvinis in the backfield behind Morgan. 2nd and 7. Tvinis with the carry, gets grabbed at the line of scrimmage. He may have actually lost the yard back to the 50. Coleman came in to grab him.
Yep.
RPI swapping out some receivers.
Godar's coming in, and so is number 84, guy I've been telling that.
Giacconi.
Yeah, he's a guy that I like to go to and recent weeks.
3 receivers left, 1 right for RPI. 3rd and 8. Morgan, shovel pass. That's completed to finish, but not a first down. Stopped at the 44.
Nice play.
Just barely got rid of that, did Morgan, before he was about to get hit. It's a 4th and 2.
I'd go for it. What the hell?
RPI keeps the offense on the field.
Whether they make it or not, I'm glad they went going for it.
4th and 2. Again, everybody on the right for RPI. They might be trying to draw Hobart off sides. That has happened today, particularly at the end of the first half. And Hobart crossed, and this is a free play. Ball gets knocked down. The pass gets knocked down, but Hobart crossed, and RPI is going to get a first down. Morgan looks shaken up again. He gets up under his own power, and it looks like he'll stay in the game. But the offsides call against Hobart will give RPI a first down.
Well, you called it, Kurt. It's exactly what they tried to do, and it worked. But Morgan's getting hit too much. They knocked his pass down, but knocked him down at the same time.
1st and 10, RPI at the Hobart 39 to finish on the carry. First down, breaks a couple of tackles, breaks it to the outside. Flag comes out as Tavinis is out at the 30. Game getting sloppy right now. Going to go Colas on a face mask. So RPI gets the down back, but they're losing yards. 10:04 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Hobart leads 19-3.
Oh, wow. That's a tough call on him. It's a nice gain by Tavinis.
It'll be 1st and 17 as RPI is backed up to the Hobart 46. 15-yard personal foul against RPI. Morgan gets the snap, gets rid of the ball, and it's incomplete. Threw into double coverage, looking for Hogan, pardon me.
Nobody touched 43. He just went in and ran right over the quarterback. Unbelievable.
2nd and 17 now for RPI.
That's Tony again, that inside linebacker coach was talking about before the game, those 2 inside linebackers. He was there almost the same time he got the ball in his hand, snapped.
Engineers put the receivers on the right-hand side. Man the slot on the right. Morgan looking to throw. Under pressure, rolling out to his right, puts the ball up in the air, and is it caught? No, incomplete, they're going to say. Hogan didn't come down with it. Yeah, he didn't come down with the ball. He didn't hit the ground with the ball, so it's an incomplete pass. No complaints from Hogan.
Collier, good coverage by Collier. Number 11 for Hobart. RPI still trying to get some momentum going on offense.
3rd and 17 at the 46 of Hobart. Morgan out of the shotgun, rolls to his right, looking downfield. Finally throws short to Hogan at the 39, and nice tackle there by Collier. Took out his legs, put him down at the 39, 40-yard line, but that's still well short of a first down. I still think you go for it here.
I do too. It's 4th and 11.
Just inside the 40 for RPI. Offense is staying out there. 9 to go, 3rd quarter. Hobart leading 19-3. Two receivers each side. And Morgan loses the ball. There's a fumble back at the 50. Nope, they're going to rule incomplete pass. They'll rule an incomplete pass. I kind of think RPI got a gift on that.
I do too.
But they're going to say it's incomplete, and RPI turns it over on downs. If they hadn't ruled incomplete, that was a touchdown.
Did you see how quick he was on the quarterback?
Oh, it was fast.
It's unbelievable. That's Morgan's getting hit like that all day.
So RPI turns it over at the Hobart 40 on downs.
That rusher took not only the quarterback, but the guy with him. Took them both out.
Tony was the one who picked up the fumble and was headed downfield, but they ruled it, well, what we thought was a fumble, but they ruled it an incomplete pass. 1st and 10 Hobart at their own 40, up 19-3. With 8:38 to go third quarter, the offense for Hobart makes its first appearance this half. And the give is to Hardigan, who makes it out to the 45. And making note of that, 8:38 was the first time the offense is out there for Hobart, and they already have 7 points in this half because the defense scored 7.
Looked like bust, but I think it might have been Kyle McGovern out there. Yeah, it is, 23.
2nd and 5 for the Statesmen. Again, they have a 16-point lead in the third quarter. Conlon takes the snap, fakes the handoff, keeps it himself. Conlon across the 50. He's got a first down, gets cut down by Borkowski at the 45.
Borkowski's a really good player. He sure tackler, reads things well. He does it all.
First and 10 Statesmen at the RPI 45. 7:40 to go, third quarter. 19-3. Hobart on top. Conlon between his backs. Two wideouts on the left for the Statesmen. Handoff on first down. That'll get about 4. That was Ellis on the carry. 33 Ellis for the Statesmen with the pickup.
Tragney on the tackle for the Engineers. Colby always in the mix of things.
Hobart taking their own sweet time, up by 3 scores. Actually 2. 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points could tie this game. But RPI needs to get a touchdown. Hardigan takes the handoff. He's got a first down to the 35, stood up at the 30, and he manages to force his way to the 29.
He's tough to bring down. His second half, every time he's carried the ball, he's picked up yardage and he's been tough to bring down.
1st and 10 Hobart at the RPI 29, 6.5 to go, third quarter. Hobart up by 16. Backs in the eye. 2 wideouts to the left. Ellis with the carry, breaks 1 tackle, stiffs arm another guy. Ellis stays on his feet, he's to the 21.
Kyle McGovern and Nick Schlatt. No, not Nick Schlatt.
Schlatt is a running back.
No, it's McGovern. And
Lanieri?
I thought it was 21, it was 31.
Lanieri. Second and officially 2 for Hobart. Multiple wideout formation. Hard to get in the backfield. They'll give to Hardigan. He's easily got a first down. He breaks a hole. 10-5. Hardigan's in for the touchdown.
Yeah, he's just a strong, real strong running back, but he had a hole big enough for a Mack truck that time.
Okay, it's 25-3 in Hobart's favor at this point. McCool on to try the extra point. The snap, the spot, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So McCool puts it through with 5:35 to go here in the third quarter. It is 26-3 in Hobart's favor.
Really unstoppable in the second half. Even when he gets hit, he's dragging people.
So RPI has given up 2 scores, 2 touchdowns, 14 points early in this third quarter. They only gave up 12 in the first half, and we're seeing basically a repeat of last year's game. Kind of close in the first half, and then Hobart's taking it over in the second half.
RPI's shown maybe 3 or 4 really good plays today, but other than that, they've just been dominated by a real good team.
Kick is taken by an RPI up man at the 20, 25, 30, 35, close to the 35, 39-yard line. RPI will start out at their own 39, third possession of the second half.
Come. Offense back on the field.
RPI trying to do something. Three wide receivers set for RPI, first down. Morgan looks left, throws, complete to Giacconi, gets away from one man, gets away from the second man, and pushed out in Hobart territory at the 40.
Nice effort by Giacconi. Nice catch and got away from the man after catching it. He looks better all the time, and again, I say he's only a sophomore, and he's a big receiver. He let's get his size, 6'5", 195.
First down RPI, trailing by 23. The carry is by Schlatt, who goes left, cuts upfield. He only gets 1 to the 39.
This defense is so quick. Even if you try to break one, you think you got a little step or two. They close the gap so quickly.
Second and 9 for RPI. Morgan fakes the handoff, puts the ball up in the air along the sidelines, and that's out of bounds. Giacconi, the intended receiver, Collier on the coverage, and neither one was going to get that in bounds.
Yeah, it was a nice route by Giacconi once again, but ball wasn't there. Just a little bit out of reach.
Third and 9 for RPI at the Rochester 39.
Dan Bright's just come into the game at tight end, number 82.
Morgan's going to roll out to his right. Looks to put the ball up in the air. Won't get a chance. Flags are coming out all over the place. Morgan goes down to 47. They'll have to sort this one out. It's against RPI. Looks like a holding call because they're checking with the Hobart sideline, asking if they want to decline the penalty.
Yeah, Bright just came in. Yeah, I said 82, he's 32.
Okay, it's holding against RPI and holding against RPI. 2 holding calls on the same play. Both decline, and Hobart takes the result of the down and puts RPI 4th and long at the 47. RPI sends out the punt team on 4th and long. Cunningham back to receive Franks' punt. Franks gets it, boots it, low, end over end kick. Cunningham takes that to 15, straight ahead to the 20. Avoids a couple of guys, whoops, stood up at the 23. And that's where Hobart will start out this drive. 4:06 to go, third quarter, 26-3, Hobart leads.
Lanieri's having a heck of a game. He was on that tackle.
Out of town, St. Lawrence leads Springfield 7-0 in the second quarter. And Union has a 3-0 lead on Rochester in the first quarter. And again, Union is looking for their first win of the season. Here it is Hobart 26-3 over RPI. First and 10 for the Statesmen at their own 23. Conlon throws over the middle, incomplete, low pass. Looking for Berkowitz. Had he been on target, would have been a first down around the 50.
Yeah, Barkowski was there, but not close enough. If that had been a little bit higher, he would have caught it.
Second and 10, Hobart at their own 23. Conlon handles the snap, rolls right, looks downfield, doesn't find anybody. Now almost picked off. It was almost in the hands of Florio. I don't know how he missed that. Missed by the receiver as well, and it's incomplete on second down.
Yeah, it was right in his hands. See, Florio, Barkowski, Lanieri, and Kyle McGovern's in there. McGovern's a senior.
Third down and 10 for the Statesmen. And they'll pitch this to the man running back behind the line of scrimmage. That was Sassano, the wide receiver. He only makes it out to the 30, where he stopped. And it looks like Hobart is going to punt.
McGovern in on a tackle. Nice tackle by McGovern. Gadar coming back for the kick return.
On 4th and 3, Thielander takes the high snap, boots the ball away. Another not pretty kick, but it'll bounce, and Gadar's going to let it bounce past him. And it'll be stopped around the 24-yard line. So RPI gets it at their own 24. 3:02 to go, third quarter. RPI trails by 23.
And you're listening to Rensselaer Football on 91.5 WRPI Troy. Hobart leading 26-3. Been a very tough day for the Engineers to, they're still fighting hard, but the opposition is pretty strong at just about every position. Strong and fast.
First and 10 for the Engineers at their own 24. They need touchdowns, they need them now. Rolling out left is Morgan, no room, he's done at the 15.
That was number 26, Marcus Jemison. He had a number of tackles in the first half. There once again, Jemison from New Jersey.
Morgan having trouble, and now they're going to call a timeout and have him looked at. He got up with a little help, but now he's back down on his knees again, and it looks like Gilman's going to have to come in at QB.
Well, that's the third time he's been.
It may be time for Morgan to take a breather.
It's not the kid's fault, not at all. He's just getting run over.
Training staff is looking at Morgan right now. .239 to go here, third quarter. Hobart 26, RPI 3.
Kid's doing his very best in there.
Morgan makes his way to the sidelines. Gilman will go in now at QB for RPI.
Well, Gilman was a high school runner. You know, one game in high school he had 228 yards running from quarterback.
RPI trailing by 23, 2:20 to go, third quarter. 2nd and 19. This is a run on first down, and Tavinis is stopped behind the line of scrimmage, 4 yards almost behind the line of scrimmage.
They're just totally dominating right now. Just pushing that offensive line back and back.
Called 3rd and 21. As RPI, it's an uphill climb for the Engineers today.
Slat's come back in the game.
Gilman takes it himself, following Slats. He gets some room to the 20, and he's going to be stopped at the 25, well short of a first down. Still 9 more yards to go for that.
As I told you, Gilman can run.
So Franks comes on to punt the ball away. Takes a snap, boots it. Cunningham fumbles the ball, and I think he's got it at the 45. Yep, Cunningham recovered it at the 45-yard line. 1:03 to go, third quarter. Hobart 26, RPI 3. Time, I think, to see some Hobart ground game.
I would think so.
They've moved to the second quarter over to Schenectady. Union still leading Rochester 3-0. And late in the second, St. Lawrence leading Springfield 7-0. That is up in Canton. First down for Hobart, and here's the ground game, and that'll be a touchdown. Breaking through past everybody, and Holloman is in for the TD.
He ran right up the middle. I mean, literally right up the middle.
That's an 8-second play for Hobart to make it 32-3.
Look at, I don't think he had an arm on him. Blocking was so good on the offensive line. I really feel bad for the team because I know how hard they work.
McCool on to try the extra point. Kick is up. Good. 33-3, Hobart leads with 54.8 seconds left in the third quarter.
Well, you mark my words. They got a quarter to go. They'll be fighting this thing all the way through. Against all odds, they'll be still battling. And I believe the day's going to come for this team under this coach where things are going to be different. Things are going to be different. I really believe that.
McCool tees the ball up at the 35-yard line. It's been 3 Hobart touchdowns in this second half. Has broken this game open. Short kick by McCool, bounces at the 25, taken at the 21 by an up man, and he'll get out to about the 26-ish, make it to 27, and RPI starts out there. Let's see what the offense can do. Hobart came with a short bench. They only took about 45, 46 guys, or 50 guys, the typical traveling partner. So there's only so far, Hobart can only go so deep in making replacements at this point.
The young man who made the tackle on that kick return was named Christian Apicella, who's from Albany, New York, and he went to LaSalle Institute in Troy. So they got a lot of Capital District people on this Hobart team. A lot.
Gilman out there for RPI. 1st and 10 from the 27. This is WRPI Troy with Engineer Football from the East Campus Stadium. 1st down for RPI, gets to about the 30, a little over the 30-yard line. Kurt Stubb, Bob Conway on the call for you today.
Slats again.
Nearing the end of the 3rd quarter here, 33-3, Hobart leads.
Number 70, Bobby Erickson on the tackle for Hobart.
St. Lawrence quarterback Mike Leffelbein just ran for a touchdown. St. Lawrence leads Springfield 13-0 near the end of the 1st half. Springfield, RPI's next opponent in 2 weeks. 2nd and 7. Gilman looks downfield, sees nothing. Fakes the throw, now runs with it to the 35. He's got a 1st down as he makes it to the 43. And that'll end the 3rd quarter here in Troy. 33-3. Hobart leads RPI.
Yeah, Gilman, as I said earlier, he can run. You know, it's a big, tough uphill battle right now, but I just want to see this team battle right to the end.
The kick made it 14-0 in Springfield's favor, or pardon me, St. Lawrence's favor. So a 2-score lead for the Saints up in Canton.
They're developing to a real good football team.
Well, a St. Lawrence win today and a Hobart win today eliminates a whole bunch of teams from title contention. And that would be Union, Merchant Marine, RPI,
Rochester.
Springfield, actually. Rochester would win today, so they would still mathematically be possible in there. And WPI, if they would lose, they'd be out as well, because Hobart and St. Lawrence, if they both go to 4 wins today, that means the winner of the league has to have 5, because they still have to play each other. 4th quarter underway, RPI right to left. Hobart left to right across your radar dial. Gilman throws the ball. That's complete, 45-50, and we've got a flag as Goddard's out of bounds around the 47.
RPI trails in 1st downs 15-8 at this point after 3 quarters. Offensive yards 319 to 137 for Hobart.
RPI being called for holding. The crowd doesn't like it, but it'll stand. And RPI's back to the 42.
They've been called for holding all day. 1 play, 2 holds.
The 8th penalty against RPI today. Yeah, and those 2 didn't even count. They got declined.
Right.
Hobart's been penalized 4 times. 33-3, Hobart leads, 20 seconds into the 4th quarter. Gilman takes the high snap, hands off to Schlatt. He runs left. His vault attempt doesn't work exactly as planned, but he does get close to the 50.
Like I said, they're still battling out there, and I'm glad to see it. After 3 quarters, tackles, Grimes has 8, Barkowski 8, Tragney 5, Connor Young 4. Connor Young had 4 in a row early in the game, and I think he's been hurt because...
Whoa, snap goes over Gilman's head, races back, covers it. That was on 2nd and 3. That's going to make it 3rd and about 17.
Yeah, Kyle McGovern's been in the game in the secondary most of the second half. And Connor Young hasn't. And he was injured early in the year. That would be another real tough loss, depending upon how injured he is, if he is.
3rd and 17, ball back at the 36 for RPI. Gilman drops back, now he's going to run with the ball. Starts heading upfield, gets hit once, gets hit a second time, stays on his feet, makes it to the 48, but that's about 5 yards short of a first down.
Telling you, that kid will get in the lineup somehow. I don't think it has to be at quarterback either, but we'll see.
Frank's coming out with the punt team. Well, he is the punter, and the punt team going out with him.
19, Cunningham back to for Hobart.
Officially ball at the 48. Snap back to Frank's blocked. Deflects, goes towards the RPI end zone. If this goes out, it's a safety. And it is. It's a safety. Hobart gets 2. 35-3, they lead. I have never seen that happen. From that middle of the field to have a punt blocked all the way back to become a safety.
Wow.
When it rains, it pours.
No, they're just dominant. They just are dominant.
RPI gets a free kick from the 20. .12:37 left to go in today's game. Hobart up by 32. And Hobart will get pretty good field position out of this.
And RPI's only score, a 54-yard field goal.
It's gone to halftime in Canton. St. Lawrence leads Springfield 14-0. Over in Schenectady, Union leads Rochester 10-0. That is with 9:38 to go in the first half. Some teams opt to punt on the free kick. RPI is going to run this like a regular kickoff. It's because you got the Frank's leg out there. Kicking off from the 20. Fasano and Cunningham back deep. Cunningham takes that to 3. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Found some room. 30, 35 to the sideline. Down at the 40. And now a flag comes out. They separate everybody at the sidelines. Cunningham ran into the sidelines. They separate everybody before anything breaks out. We'll have to see what the flag is. Holding against Hobart, so this will be coming back somewhat.
Finally a break. 12:28 to go in the ball game. Engineers trail 35-3.
Ball goes back to the 30 for the Statesmen.
They're still battling hard. Really uphill, and quite frankly, this Southern team is just real good. Hobart's been very good for a number of years, but this year I think they're especially good.
Ranked 8th in the country. That's not going down after today. Conlon hands off on first down. Burns gets out to the 32. As perhaps now we'll see some of that Hobart ground game.
Yeah.
Second down and 8.
Second and 8 for the Statesmen. Fasano goes in motion to the left. Another handoff, and this will be a first down. Oh, almost breaking it. Flag comes out in the backfield, though. I think this is coming back. Ellis on the carry got out to the 47, but it's holding against Hobart. So start taking some yards off. For a game that was moving very quickly, the second half has started to drag.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't gotten chippy yet. Doesn't look like anyway. That's what I worry about when games get out of hand.
Moves the ball back to the 22-yard line. Second down and 18.
Second and 18 as Hobart is pushed back to the 22. 11:35 to go in this game. Hobart up by 32. Ellis takes it out to the 25. No, pardon me, that's not Ellis. That was Holloman. Takes it out to the 25-yard line. Ellis is now coming back in.
Chris Onsman on the tackle for the Engineers.
3rd and 15 for Hobart at the 25.
Next week is a bye week for the Engineers. The following week they'll be at Springfield. And the last regular season game of the year will be home against Union College.
Hobart takes a timeout on this 3rd and 15 play. That is their first timeout of the second half. Through 3 quarters, total offense, Hobart 319, RPI 137. And there's the game right there.
Yes. Their passing is, Conlon has a 7 for 13 for 70 yards, so it's nothing spectacular there, but they just grind it out. Rushing, he's got Burns with 46, Hardigan with 39, Holloman with 33, and Ellis with 9. RPI is Schlatt's with 53.
Third and 15, Hobart at the 25-yard line. Conlon takes a snap, throws, that's complete. Won't be a first down. Nope, won't be a first down. Forward progress out to the 39 on the completion. They needed 1 more yard to get a first down. It looks like full on the reception for Hobart.
Yep.
And now we have an injured Engineer, so clock will stop as he's attended to by the training staff.
Tragney was primary guy in on the tackle. Saved that first down.
In Schenectady, Rochester has picked up a TD and an extra point. It's now Union 10, Rochester 7 with 6:40 to go in the second quarter. And again, St. Lawrence leading Springfield 14-0 at the half. The WPI Merchant Marine game later today. That's a 4 o'clock start.
Onsman. Let me see what that number is. That 58?
Tough to tell with these numbers.
I know.
It's looking like a 58 to me.
All day. It's 31 to 71.
Onsman walks off under his own power. Hobart sends out Thielander to punt. Boots it away. Gadar lets it bounce. Oops, taken by one of the other Engineers standing around, and he's going to run with it, and he makes it out to the 37. That was Buss on the return, the punt return for RPI. 10-12 to go in today's game. Hobart leads 35-3.
And tonight, RPI hockey team faces Bentley. 7:30. Puck drops.
7.
I thought you told me 7:30
No, I
earlier.
said it was 7.
Okay.
They haven't played 7:30 Saturday night games in like a decade. It's been a long time. Hoping for a better result. The men's hockey team losing to Bentley 5-2 last night. Not a pretty performance. Engineers, 1st and 10 at the 37. Gilman still in there at QB for RPI. Hands off on 1st down. That didn't get much. Colas running behind the line, took the ball, and he gets 1 to the 38.
No. I think Jackson was in on the tackle for Hobart. Fadri Jackson. He's a senior from Fayetteville, New York.
Second and 9. Gilman fakes the handoff, pulled down by his jersey, and he's going to lose a yard. He's going to lose 2 yards back to the 36.
That's by number 97, Patrick Shepard.
Third and 10 for RPI. 9 to go in today's game. Gilman looks to throw, puts the ball up in the air, throws into double coverage, and overthrows Hogan. Incomplete on 3rd down, so 4th down. Does the punt unit come out? I got to think they do.
Covered pretty well by Todd Collier. He's the guy who had the touchdown earlier from Lynn, Mass.
Hobart racing the rest of the coverage team out there. Snap back to Franks. This time he gets rid of the ball quicker. Avoids a safety. Cunningham races back, gets an over-the-shoulder catch around the 15, heads towards the sideline, stays on his feet, avoids a tackle, and then runs out. Let's say it's the 18-yard line. 8:44 to go in the game. Hobart up by 32.
And this is one I hope the boys remember, and I have a feeling they will. The boys are going to be around for a few years. I think their day will come. We'll see, but that's how I feel.
Hobart on offense, 1st and 10 at their own 18. Hardigan takes the handoff, tries to turn the corner on the left-hand side, can't.
Well, that kid runs hard. He's hard to bring down.
Bailey in now at quarterback for Hobart. Is that right? Yes. Kyle Bailey, a senior, is now playing quarterback. Eight and a half to go in the game. 2nd and 10, Hobart at their own 18. Bailey hands off to Hardigan. He gets stopped at the line at the 19, basically. So he picks up 1 as the clock continues to run.
Number 34 for the Engineers, Greg Habert on the tackle.
7:45 to go. Hobart with a 3rd and 9. Bailey takes a snap, gives to Hardigan. Hardigan kind of found a hole, but then got caught by the linebackers, and he stopped at the 25, and Hobart will send out their punt team. Engineers switching up the punt return team.
They got a lot of different people in there right now.
Rhett Adley is now out to return the punt.
He's a good little athlete. Not big, but he's a good athlete. He's a freshman.
Weird snap. Punt is kicked away. Adley's telling his team to get away from the ball. It bounces, takes an RPI bounce, and it's down by Hobart around the Hobart 48. 6:46 left to go. Hobart 35, RPI 3.
When do St. Lawrence and Hobart play?
I believe they play the 8th. I have that right here for you. The 8th, 2 weeks from today when RPI is at Springfield. St. Lawrence plays, yes, they both play next week. Hobart has Union and St. Lawrence has WPI. And then if they're still undefeated at that point, they would meet on the 8th for what would be the title game.
Where?
Canton.
Uh-huh.
For only the third time today, RPI starting out on Hobart's side of the field. Trailing by 32. Gilman fakes the handoff, keeps the ball. He got to the 46 on his forward progress. They may only give him the, they'll give him the 46, I think.
He's tough as they come.
Al Shibley says a gain of 1. Yeah, they're going to call it a gain of 1. Nope, now it's 2. It's really 2. Okay, he started out to 48. He's now at the 46. That's a gain of 2. I'm confusing myself. 2nd and 8 for RPI. 6:15 to go today. Or at least in the game, not just today. Gilman fakes another handoff, runs straight ahead, and he's got a first down. He makes it to the Hobart 36.
You gotta like this kid as a runner. He's tough. Let's see something here.
Under 6 to go in the game, 35-3.
6 foot, 180 pounds from St. Louis, Missouri.
Hobart on their way to their 7th win this season. Handoff on first down, gets a couple. Now to the 33, Nick Schlatt's carrying the ball.
Let's see what Schlatt said. He had 50-some yards after 3.
68 net yards after 3.
68. Oh, that was after 2. He had 53. Yeah.
2nd and 7 for RPI. Ball to Hobart 33. Schlatt takes the handoff from Gilman. Runs right, turns the corner, and I think he lost the ball. Everybody's yelling and diving. He lost the ball. Hobart's got it. He had a first down, then coughed up the football. Hobart takes over. 5:08 to go in the game. Hobart leading 35-3.
Just not the day for the Engineers.
Statesmen start on their own 24. A little over 5 to go. Two wideouts to the right, backs in the eye for the Statesmen. Looks like we got a new quarterback out there for Hobart. Ryan along the sidelines left. That'll get Hobart a first down, and that is Thielander out there for Hobart at QB. He's the punter also. First down Hobart to the 38, under 5 to go. Hobart on top 35-3.
Yeah, this has been a very, very difficult game to watch. But I still...
Backs in the eye, single wideouts each side. Thielander hands off on first down to a new running back, and he's going to get a couple of yards. That is Burke, Justin Burke, running the ball for Hobart.
I still like the way the Engineers are still working as hard as they can out there. They got a lot of pride and they got a lot of guts. They get a little more matured with this team and coaching staff. I really believe we're going to hear from them.
2nd and 6. for Hobart, ball on their own 42. Thielander hands off, trying to run left again. Forced out of bounds was Letizia. Joe Letizia on the carry there as Hobart's running in their backup running backs at this point. 3:40 to go in today's game. Clock continues to run. 3rd and 5 for the Statesmen. They're burning off as much clock as possible. Two wideouts to the right, one to the left. Thielander hands off, but that won't be a first down as Letizia didn't have any avenue to find his way upfield. And with about 3 minutes to go, Hobart will send out the punting unit. So Thielander stays in, he'll punt the ball. Bradley is back at his own 22, waiting to receive the kick. Ball gets booted away. Taken by Bradley to 25, to the 30, backs up, loses the ball. It's loose on the field. Everybody's diving at it, and it's around the 28, and we'll have to sort out who has this. It's not clear right now. And it's RPI's ball at the 28-yard line. .224 to go in the game. Just a matter of playing this one out. Gilman stays in there as quarterback. I never saw what happened to Morgan. Did they take him underneath?
I didn't see any further than him going off the field. We can't see.
On first down, RPI with the run that goes out of bounds. That was Lane taking it. Ran to the left all the way to the sidelines and ran out of bounds.
Number 58.
No, I've been looking for Morgan on the sidelines after he came out in the third quarter, and I haven't seen him, so I think he went underneath into the locker room. Not that he would be coming out at this point.
I'm not surprised. He got his bell rung at least twice.
Second down and about 5 for RPI. Throw downfield is broken up by the D. Gilman sending it deep.
He actually tried to intercept it, dropped it.
Rogers on the breakup there for Hobart. It'll be 3rd and 5 RPI. 2:06 to go in today's game. Union has kicked a field goal to take a 13-7 lead on Rochester with 58 seconds left in the first half.
Interesting.
3rd down and 5. RPI. Gilman, I think, kept it himself. To finish was his blocker. Gilman kept it, and he stopped at the 39-yard line. 1 yard short of a first down as we're under 2 minutes to go in today's game.
And we do want to remind you that you're listening to Rensselaer Football on 91.5 WRPI Troy.
RPI keeps the offense out there. 1:35 to go, down by 32 to Venice. Nope, Gilman fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, gets a first down, and Gilman makes it to the Hobart 45.
Look at those guys still battling. Minute 28 to go, and they're down 32 points, and they're battling like it was a 1-point game. Good for them.
Ball to 45.
We will be back.
Gilman looks to throw. Puts it up along the sidelines, and the defender bats it away. Rogers bats it away. McHugh was the intended receiver around the 5-yard line.
It's a nice coverage by the defense.
That makes it 2nd and 10 with 1:08 to go. Gilman hands off. This will only get a couple of yards to finish to about the 43 as we're under a minute to go. It'll be 3rd down and 8 for RPI. Gilman gives it to Vinnis, straight ahead. He's got a 1st down as he's inside the 35 to the 34. So the clock stops. RPI does not have to run this play. Actually, they do. There still needs to be one more play because the play clock continued, but the game clock stopped. So there will be at least one more play in today's game. 25 seconds to go. Hobart up by 32. RPI with possession. Schlatt takes the carry. Runs off the right side. He gets pushed down at the 29, and that is likely the last play of the game. RPI looks like they're in no rush to get to the line. Hobart doesn't have a problem with that. 4 seconds to go, and it's going to be a final here in Troy. Hobart 35, RPI 3.
Real tough game for the Engineers. Played a very good team. Our team is just not at that level yet. And that's not putting our team down. They're young. I believe they will be there. And they'll remember this one.
Well, it was a lot like last year's game. It was close in the first half. You can spin it or look at it however you want to. Did Hobart have a weak first half? They threw 2 interceptions. Our really good offensive drive in the first half was near the end when they were able to move it from their side of the field to the other side of the field, kick the 54-yard field goal. Down by 9 at the half. 3rd quarter, boom. Hobart scores 21, takes the game away. It was a lot like last year where 3rd quarter they came out of the locker room and Hobart took the game away. It's 60 minutes you got to play, and Hobart gives you 60. It's going to be a tough 60. And that's what they did today against RPI. I think the only part of the game that RPI was better at was the kicking game.
Yep.
But if you're not getting touchdowns, the kicking game can't save you.
Well, that's what I said in the interview. I said we're going to have some kickoffs.
Yeah, and RPI kicked off once in the first half to start the game.
That's right.
They scored at the very end. Hobart kicked off to start the second half, so the kickoff positioning wasn't a factor in the first half. It didn't come into play, really. But that's the only aspect where really are enough if the other team is scoring touchdowns. You need to have more than that. I mean, total yards, 379 to 218, and for RPI, a lot of those came in the second half when Hobart had the game well in hand. Yeah. And really, the killer was they were down by 9. They come out in the second half, they've got the ball, and the pick 6 for Hobart makes it now effectively a long 2-3 game, and RPI never really got back after that one. That was a difficult thing for RPI to overcome. I'll run down the scoring for you in today's game. Holloman with 5:13 left in the first quarter with a 33-yard run for Hobart. Hobart took the lead 6-0. The kick failed. I think that one failed left. It did. In the second quarter, 9:59 to go. Ellis with a 3-yard run. The kick failed right. Kershey with both of those kick attempts. It was Hobart 12-0. RPI got their only points as time expired in the first half. Franks kicked a 54-yard field goal, and it was 12-3 at the half. We were talking about that. Third quarter, Hobart took over the game. It was a pick 6. Collier, a 31-yard interception return for a touchdown. McCool came on to make the kick. 12:46. That was just 2:14 into the third quarter, second half. Made it 19-3 in favor of Hobart. Then Hardigan with a 21-yard run, 5:35 to go in the third quarter. McCool's kick made it 26-3 Hobart. Holloman followed that up with a 55-yard run, which he was untouched on. With 55 seconds left to go in the third quarter, the kick by McCool made it 33-3 in favor of Hobart. And then the last score of the game, with 12:37 left to go in the game, a team safety by Hobart. Franks' punt was blocked, and it deflected all the way back and out of the end zone. That's a safety. 2 points for Hobart, and it was a final here in Troy. Hobart 35 and RPI 3. Hobart improves under their head coach Mike Craig to 7-0 overall, 4-0 in the conference, heading towards a matchup with St. Lawrence in 2 weeks for a potential, what could be a potential championship game in the Liberty League. RPI falls to 4-4 overall. They're on a 3-game losing streak, and they are 2-3 in the conference. They, in all likelihood, are eliminated from even tying for the conference title, because right now up in Canton, St. Lawrence has a 21-0 lead on Springfield. And that has moved about 3 minutes into the third quarter there. St. Lawrence scored early in the third quarter. The only other score underway over in Schenectady at the half, Union leads Rochester 13-7. So RPI in 2 weeks. They're off next week, 1 o'clock in 2 weeks. They play Springfield, and then after that, Union at home to finish out the season for the football squad. Hobart will be hosting Union next weekend over in Geneva to try to continue their unbeaten season up against Union, trying to pick up their first win today against Rochester. Over to you, Bob.
Okay, I'll pick my game stars. On offense for the Engineers, I will take Nick Schlatt's 18 carries for 93 yards, a 5.2 average. And late in the game, but still effective, Matt Gilman, 8 carries for 70 yards, 8.6 yards per carry out of the quarterback position. And on defense, Nick Barkowski, he had 3 unassisted and 7 assisted tackles for 10 tackles. And Mark Grimes had 4 of each for 8. So it would be Schlatt and Gilman on offense, and Barkowski and Grimes on defense. And on special teams, again, Andrew Franks, 8 for 350 yards and a 43.8 average punting, along a 76, and a 54-yard field goal. Special teams, Andy Franks.
That's all from us from the East Campus Stadium. I'd like to thank Dan Wakefield back at the station for making sure we got out over the air. 2 weeks in a row with Dan, smooth as silk. Gotta love it. We'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, and that includes WRPI's coverage of Engineer football, hockey, and baseball. Also, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org, and you can pick up our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As long as we're broadcasting something over the ether of the air, we'll provide it for you on that feed. That is WRPI.org. Our next sports broadcast, we have 2 more today. Women's hockey, they face off at 3 o'clock down at the Houston Fieldhouse. And then men's hockey at 7 o'clock at the Houston Fieldhouse. Both of those will be on the air here at WRPI. Our next football game, again, next Saturday, 1 o'clock start out in Springfield. Nope, 2 weeks from today. RPI going out to Springfield to play the Pride. That'll be a 1 o'clock start 2 weeks from today. So for Bob Conway, my name is Kurt Studd. We'd like to thank you for listening to today's game. The final score here from the RPI campus, it was Hobart 35, RPI 3, and you've been listening to live coverage of Engineer football on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.